Hey, this is Eric from Hanyak Honeybees. We're getting ready to get in this 8-frame double deep, and they are beyond full, afraid that may have swarmed, but they're getting ready to. So thought we'd try to do a video on what to do if you run into this issue. If you think they might swarm, we get in there, they're too full, they got cells everywhere. It's getting kind of late in the evening for this, but let's see what we can do. And we got Victor there, he's getting ready. You ready to go, man?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's show the folks what to do just in case something happens. All right, let's take a look. They had drawn comb. Looks like they backfilled it with honey here. Sometimes they backfill them with drones. Right down in this area here. But you can see, definitely a full box. What you got over there, Victor?
It's a full box.
Got any bees in that box? It's getting close to evening too, so we got a lot of the field bees back. All right, we're gonna start working them. All right, so we went through this box and it was crazy full, but it is mainly honey bound more than anything. They are backfilling with honey. So what we do is we're going to pull out those frames. Some of them have some brood on them, so we're going to throw those in what we call a junk box. And you can put those in a box, close the entrance for 24 hours, and then open the entrance, and some might fly back to this box. Majority of them stay in there, and then they will make new queen cells on the frames where they have eggs of the proper age. So this is what I'm leaving in this box. I think I already took one frame of brood off of Victor's, and that's what I'm going to throw into a junk box. And our junk boxes are basically 8-frame boxes with a board nailed onto the bottom, and then we just have a circle entrance. It's just something that makes it stand out in our yard, so we know that it is a junk box. I believe I got one right over here. And last year we made quite a few great queens out of just using the resources that we've been told some people just freeze them and scrape them off and count their losses, but we allow all the drones to hatch out, which helps with our queen mating, and all the brood, they end up making a queen. We've had some great queens come out of these. So, but you can see it's just an 8-frame, and we just put one hole in it right there, and the top one's just ventilation, and we have another ventilation hole on the back side. But what I thought we might be doing was going through this box and finding queen cells, and then when they're capped, you know, hey, they're going to swarm. And I was going to show you how we did that, but luckily we really didn't need it. So we got a good chance of severe weather tonight, and I'm hoping everybody makes it through okay. So we'll give another update here shortly. So you can see here, we're going to do somewhat of a checkerboard. We pulled out enough frames of honey, and there's a little brood. Sometimes they put pollen in the wrong locations that we want for selling purposes and stuff. We don't want to have a lot of pollen right in the middle of the brood and such, and they never end up actually moving that enough to where they lay back into it. So we get them into a junk box, let them use it over there. So what I'm showing you though is I put a brand new frame in here. I'm going to move this frame over against that one, place another brand new frame in there, move this one over tight, place another brand new frame in there, and that allows them to still have a hive, but it just has little holes in it, and they draw it out much faster that way. Instead of just throwing all new frames on one side or the other, they allow this box to expand so much quicker by basically doing this checkerboarding. So this is the bottom box, and what I have drawn out. This has brood and honey on the first frame on the left. This one is a brand new plastic. Then we have drawn out with brood and backfilled a little bit with honey, and I have a brand new plastic, brood, plastic, and then I had a couple extra. These are both brood with a little bit of honey. So on Victor, when he gets on his box here, he's going to start on this side with plastic, because down below I have honey and it's drawn out. Then this one is a brood frame and a plastic and a brood and a new plastic, and then we'll continue on.
Got the queen.
You see her quick? I'll put her on camera. We saw her, so we were going to cull frames, and we put her over into a box on her own.
Right here. Right there.
Yep, you see her. So she's going to go back in. But when you do that, and we just move her and locate her in a different spot and put a lid on it, we know we're not losing her or whatever. We know where she's at, so if we want to cull things, we can go ahead and pull them out and just put them into those junk boxes and not worry about losing our queen or moving her. So now we're giving our box a lot of places for them to lay and bring in honey and draw out all this new wax and this new comb, because it wouldn't have been too much longer. They would have drawn cells and swarmed out. The box was way too full. But they'll probably have this all drawn out by early next week. There's a lot of brood in here hatching. We'll probably be putting a honey super on top of this middle of the next week or so.
Yep, and then these frames here we got on the side, these are just going to go to a junk box.
A lot of honey. There's a little bit of brood and eggs, and like I say, they'll just draw queen cells and make queens. And we have lots and lots of drones out here. This box had an entire drone frame. Get the sunlight on that. It's kind of just dark right now, but you can kind of see a lot of those open patches here. That's all laid up with eggs and little larvae, grafting size stuff.
And then this whole side's all honey. That's
Yep.
all it is.
So we try to move the honey and get it out of the box and give them a place to lay. If they get brood bound, they'll leave. Alright, so we got another junk box, and right now I'm putting a hive beetle treatment in it. Just put a little bit in the corners. This is the eucalyptus and Crisco with a little bit of food coloring. Seems to keep the hive beetles away for us. And we just daub a little bit in each corner, and this stuff works fantastic. We got a lot of our boxes down here in the shade, and we've been told you can't do that. You'll lose your hives to all the hive beetles. And we do see them, and typically we have lost some of our small hives. Basically, they're not even a hive, it's just our queen making boxes. They're just very small amount of bees in there, and when we got in them and you saw the hive beetles and they made a mess of the honey, we looked down in there, we didn't have our treatment. Those boxes didn't have treatment in it. So this is an essential oil. It's all natural, and like I say, we just mix it with a little bit of Crisco and food coloring, and it does the trick. So that's going to be our junk box. Let's go over here and grab some frames. Victor's just putting that one back together. You want to grab those frames? We'll show the folks how we just go ahead and put the frames in the junk box.
Yeah.
Now sometimes we throw frames in from multiple hives, and that's why we just have a junk box. You can just throw anything in there and then we'll smoke them a little bit. You can carry that box over there if you want.
Okay.
Just set it on that. I'll move that box down so you got a place to set it, but so that way they kind of get along. They're all going to be queenless. Move this one here for you. Set it there. These are basically all going to be obviously out of the same hive. And we got a drone frame, and we'll go ahead and pull that. They're trying to backfill it more with honey, with nectar and such. And these bees here, they'll hatch out all those drones. So we're going to put another drone frame in the big hive so they can go ahead and just make more drones. Because once they're capped, the work's over. We can just let them hatch out over here. But we kind of keep our drone zone flooded. Got a few on that one. A lot of them, it's just getting dark. It's getting hard to see. Yeah, turn it towards the sun and you can get a little better view of it. But there's quite a few capped, and then there's a bunch of large larvas, and they'll finish capping those, and these guys will hatch out more drones for the queens, the virgin queens. And that's one thing that's really tough. A lot of folks say, hey, you can do a walk-away split, and then they call me and say it wasn't successful. The queen didn't come back, they lost a lot of time, or the queen wasn't well mated. A lot of small-time beekeepers in towns, wherever, you're having fun, but you only got a couple hives, so you really don't have enough drones to mate the virgin queen when she flies out. And then if you get lucky and actually have a queen, she ends up not laying very well. So yep, we just keep putting them in there, and everything will hatch out. They'll use up the resources. It kind of cleans up the frames, and we rotate these out, and we'll be rotating others into this box. But you can see we got a lot of boxes, but yet we still work at getting more drones. Is that about it?
Yep.
We got to put that green one in. This one's drawn out. It was in a box. We wanted to take everything out of it, and anyway, they're gonna finish drawing that out, and then she'll lay that one up. Another entire frame full of drones. There's a junk box. We put a stick on it, and basically it says it's not full yet. And we lay the half brick and we stand it up. That tells us that that box is making cells. It's making queen cells, so we'll be checking on that, just like the junk box right next to it. And a lot of our boxes are depleted right now. We have, like this one was sold, but these are the field bees that came back. Throw a frame of eggs in there, and they start making more queen cells. We're going to be selling a lot of queens this year, so if you have a need for mated queens, and you can see we have lots of drones, we will have nice calm genetics, and we'll be selling them. We'll mail them, whatever you need. We typically only mail on Mondays or Tuesdays. The mail's been even getting slower with the COVID, so we don't want them stuck over a weekend somewhere in a post office, and then things don't work out so well. So we typically catch them up on Sunday evening, mail them first thing Monday morning, and get them headed your way. Or you're welcome to swing on by Hanyak Honeybees here in South Central Illinois, close to Newton, Illinois, and get you some calm genetics. If you have a hive that's hot, all you got to do is get a nice mated queen, pinch your queen, and leave it queenless for 24 hours, install our queen, and it will calm your box down in a few weeks, because those bees only live six weeks. And so within the 6-week period, it'll be all new genetics in the box. All right, so this box is good to go. This will be the end of this video. Did you have to shake any down?
I got one frame.
Got one frame to shake yet?
Yep.
It's getting late. Let's get her done. So what we'll do to get the rest of the bees in this box, you can just shake them on the ground, and they'll climb up that stick and walk into the box. It's a good way to put nurse bees into a box that needs a little boost as well. If you got a frame of open brood and stuff like that, there's a lot of nurse bees feeding those open larvae, and you want to boost a box and you need some nurse bees in there, just go ahead and shake them on the ground. They can't fly, so they'll walk up that stick. And they'll find the stick and go up on their own pretty well. Sometimes we'll come around here shortly with our smoker, and we'll be smoking along like on the outside edge of this, and that'll kind of funnel them towards the stick, and they'll start going up. But you can see that box was full. They were hanging outside. The box was getting pretty warm. Had a fairly warm day and a lot of bees in the box. They'll just kind of cluster underneath like that. But we didn't find any cells, so they weren't starting the timer as far as wanting to swarm. So we did not have to do a imitation swarm today. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Hanyak honeybees. Hanyak!